This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Shalom Aleichem, Bruchim Abom. We're continuing in Mishna Berura Daf Hashavua. Today we begin Siman Lamed Hey. Siman Lamed Hey. Din Minyan Hashitin, the din of the number of lines in Tefillin. Nahagu b'minyan Hashitin, the custom and the number of lines. Lichtov b'shel yad shiva shitin b'chol Parsha, that the shel yad, each Parsha should have 7 lines. Uv'shel rosh arba shitin, and the shel rosh should have 4 lines. So the shel yad, which is one long parchment, each Parsha should have 7 lines, and the shel rosh, which is 4 separate parshiyos, each Parsha should have 4 lines. If you switched, that you made the shel yad 4 lines, the shel rosh you made it 7 lines, it's not possible. Says Mishna Berura Nagu. Al pi ka kabbalah biyad sofer mishmi piyesh. This is a kabbalah that sofer have. They have a tradition going back. What the source is, we don't quite know. B'minyan hashitim. V'chein yesh kabbalah biyadam b'inyan haschalas rashi hashuros b'shel yad b'shel rosh. They also have a kabbalah regarding the beginning of the start of the lines of the shel yad and the shel rosh, like it's mavur in the Torah and the Beis Yosef. So they have a tradition regarding the beginning of the lines of the shel yad and the shel rosh. The Torah explains it, and Beis Yosef. Nowadays, the soifrim, they're not medaktik exactly how the lines begin, meaning what's the first word on the line. And they switch however it comes up. Somebody wants to be medaktik, don't make like a long final mem or a long final letter, or make it short. It's not a beauty for the tefillin if you make certain words wider, longer, in order to fulfill this tradition of what word should begin on the beginning of the line. Avol ma'ad rashai, but a little bit you're allowed to. V'imshina, and if you switched, vein b'shel yad uvein b'shel rosh. If you switched, whether the shel yad or the shel rosh, it's kosher. Let's say for the shel yad. Now, normally we said the shel yad is 7 lines. Let's say you have a shorter one, but it's longer. Unless you write it very small. It's better to do 4 lines, meaning this tradition is it's a tradition, but that's all it is. It's not going to come at the expense of jeopardizing the kashrus of the tefillin. I'm b'mordechai b'hilchos ketanois soif hilchos tefillin v'huva le'el siman lamed beis the bechlal zeh kelev anveu lichtov ksiva gasa b'mixnas shelo yiyu nimtakim mehera. Part of zeh kelev anveu is that the letters should not be that thin. They should have some girth to them. They should have some body to them. So sometimes you see a hand and I say, oh, it's really beautiful. There are objective standards of noi. One of them is that the lettering should be somewhat hardy. We see that if you have very thin writing, we see the chush that with the thin writing that some soifrim write every day, matzai kama v'kama kokulim, we find many problems. Gam betchilas ksivasan, even not just later on, the letters maybe little piece could fall off, but from the very origin of the writing, shaloi nichtavu kedinan, that they're not written properly, machmas dakusan, because they're so thin. Uberubam chaser kama tagim. The shatnez gates, most of them they're missing the proper tagim. Duhu midina de Gemara, which is midin de Gemara that the letters shin ayin tes nun zayin gimel tzadi have crowns on them. V'yesh mei rishonim shemachrim b'zafilu b'diavad. Some rishonim are machrim about this even b'diavad, meaning regarding the tagin. Look, in my shul, we have one brand new Sefer Torah. We also have a Sefer Torah that my grandfather brought over from Europe. It's a very, very old Sefer Torah, but there's a problem with the tagin. Well, actually, it's not only this Sefer Torah. Most old Sefer Torah have a problem with dakin, and in most shuls, they just take it out without even thinking. Well, the letters are kosher. They had a computer checked. Yeah, but you can barely see the tagin if they're even there still. And it's not kosher l'chadchila. By the way, it's a question. Could it be the second Sefer Torah? Very rarely will you have a shul that when you need two Sefer Torah, they'll just take out one. They'll take out a second one, which is old. What do you mean? It's a question whether you're allowed to do that. So certainly if you have a very thin writing, they might not have the tagin to begin with. V'shomer nafsho lo yikna parshas gel b'toch tefillah. Someone who is careful, you should not purchase parshas like this for his tefillin, unless he checks them very well, at first. The parshas ke'elu matzum oid de koisvein him adayim na'orim shaloi duklal dinei ksivas dam. Those who write these parshas, often the writers are still youths who don't know at all the halachas of writing stam. Okay, we're going to hold it over here. I wish everyone a wonderful day and a wonderful Shabbos. We'll see you Be'ezus Hashem next week as we begin Siman Lamed Vav Dikduk Ksivasan. Okay, Rabbi Isai, have a wonderful day. Bracha v'hatzlacha. Kol tov.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.